Hey everyone, how you doing today? I thought I'd show you an update of this Legacy Combat CV for RE2. So it is well on its way right now. I worked out a lot more things on it. I've got a couple odds and ends to do, especially with CPU core placement and a little bit of utility stuff. But other than that, it's almost there. I do have some more details and LCDs and stuff to do on the interior, as well as a little bit more with ventilators and that kind of thing too. But for the most part, let me just show you where the ship is at right now, and where I'm struggling with a couple things. Basically, fitting CPU cores I'm kind of working on right now. I want to kind of recreate that. But anyway, I know I shown this room last video. This is where the main shields and small shields go, kind of like the loading bay or the ramp down to the ground here. Now, what I did add to this moving forward here is it's just a random hallway here. There's nothing actually in this area. There's a blast door here. I'll get that hooked up on some kind of switch or control or P menu option or something like that. And I ended up taking the warp drive that used to be in the back of the ship, and I put it here. So the warp drive's kind of in this casing, and this whole room, which was a fairly large open room, is now kind of lined with a lot of like xenoblock in the wall. There's 2 layers of xenoblock coming down from the top of the ship before you get there. The warp drive in position is about in this location of the ship, or if I got the cursor on, about here. So that is still a very long ways from the front of the ship, and it's very protected. One of the items that the AI will shoot at as well is a warp drive, and I wanted to get it out of the back of the ship because I needed room for other stuff mainly. Then I was thinking, well, you know, if they're going to shoot at this anyway, might as well let them have at it. So I'll just make sure it's really protected. So beyond this, if I fly through the wall, there's like a xenoblock wall over here, and I think even, did I put xeno there or not? No, I guess that's not xeno there. There's a xenoblock wall here, and this whole area is like some xeno, some carbon, decoy generator over here. As you fly through the front, there's a decoy launcher now. Didn't really want to put that there, but it's there. It's those are pretty big in this in our RE2, so that's like 8 block long chunk of decoy. Then we got a decoy turret over here. There's kind of like technically a couple decoy thrusters here. You can see them from the top of the ship though. They're not the obviously the main thrusters for down thrust at all on the ship, so those can be gone, and I don't think you'd barely notice any difference. And then another decoy generator closer to the front of the ship. So inside of here, it is a mixture of xenoblocks and carbon blocks. So a lot of these things are surrounded by xenoblocks, and there's walls in front of them and things like that. But there's some gaps here and there that have carbon blocks in them. So basically, to drill through the front of the ship, like if you were attacking somebody and they were aiming at all the decoys, and basically everything that they would aim at is in the front nose of the ship. Well, before you get to the back of the ship, even the warp drive now. So they should be hopefully really fixated on shooting this part of the ship, which obviously is, you can lose the whole chunk of the ship and you're still going. The first thing that would cause you any problems is losing the warp drive. But if you were fighting that long where you lost this much of the ship, you might want to back out of battle. just a thought. I don't know. It almost seems like the whatever you gain from killing the enemy ship, the losses would be more substantial, I think. So anyway, moving on. Through this room, out the back over here, there is the very small little crafting area, and you can kind of see where the main shield is. I got to do some more texturing up there yet. So I got 4 320k ammo bays, and you got room for like 2 constructors, basically a constructor on each side. So you can build some ammo when you're out and about. Now, why I needed to move that warp drive out of here is because I wanted to set this up for this universal power fusion room thing. So it's kind of a big room in the middle, a lot of xenoblocks even in what you see here, and there's a lot more beyond what you can see. But it can hold either 2 fusion reactors at once, or 2 small fusion reactors, or 1 big fusion reactor. So it'll fit that as well. So you can put in the big 5x5x5 one here in the room. So that's just a room for fusion reactors. Now, fusion reactors, beyond doing a lot of power, they also help with your shield recharge. And like a small fusion reactor, I think does like I hope I don't get this wrong, but I think it's 500 recharge like shield points, and the big 5x5x5 one I think does 1500. So you can get more shield recharge by adding fusion reactors, even if you don't need the power for any particular reason. So that's what's going on the lowest floor here of the ship. So let's go up a floor, or to deck 2. So deck 2, this is where the secure bridge is. Now I haven't really tweaked out all the lighting and stuff. I'm not really showing it with the darkness either going on, but the lighting's it needs some help. I haven't really put a lot of time into the lighting part of things, or try to really tweak out things and detail it. I might try to make it better looking like first person view than what I got going on there yet. But last time I showed this room, it was a little bit bigger, and there was a door that went right out the center of it to the medium shield room. And it was brought up in comments that, yeah, this door right in front, I don't like that. I didn't really like that either, so made me think about it. So what I ended up doing is I put the doors off to the side, but I had to return you back to the center through a hallway. So basically, it's just an extra wall here with a hallway, and then you go to the center into the medium shield room. And that is so that didn't change too much besides this part getting a little bit more stuff done to it. Then O2 and a med bay in there. So if you go out the back side here on this deck, you got your 2 regular advanced large generators. You got your shield, which I do have to do some more painting in there. And that is kind of about it, except for 2 rooms that are completely unfinished. And this is where I have a little bit of a dilemma right now. I'm trying to add all the CPU blocks, and currently, well, I kind of did add them all. So it's got 1.4 million something CPU right now, and that is with the Core 9 setup, plus I believe 4 aux cores and 4 quantum cores. So a lot of CPU cores are in the ship, but these rooms there's 3 separate rooms doing CPU blocks, and I don't particularly like that, but man, has a lot of space. You know, when you start adding all those cores, it's hard to find any room to put them all, at least in the current layout with so many armored walls and things like that. Even this room, obviously, there's a big old thrusters up above here, so that's why I didn't put any stacked up except for in the corner. That actually has a xenoblock wall over here. So a lot of this will probably be filled in with xenoblocks if I keep this setup. So you got 1 core room there, and then there's another core room on the other side over here. This one's currently holding some other cores, like a lot of the Core 9 cores, things like that. And then if we go to the last deck of the ship, or deck 3, I should say. So that's this area. And I had some of the block work kind of in place for this last time. I did work on painting it. I haven't filled it in with stuff. Now, this is going to be the location for some more utility stuff, including the medical bay and probably like your armor locker, weapon locker, that kind of utility function, maybe a fridge and a food processor just chilling in here. So I'll have to arrange all that in a nice way. And then there's the back side of this floor, and I've got some more cores just chilling here right now, and a gravity generator. So I got to do some reconfiguring. I don't like how I got cores all over the place right now. I'm trying to keep them all out of the way and really like places that the AI shouldn't be shooting at and should be safe. Although this top room here, because it's top floor, basically it's not that safe there. And I don't really want to put like expensive quantum cores there. Not that the AI should necessarily be shooting down in this area, but who knows what happens. And it's not much of a wall going down in there. So that's kind of where I got to figure out something to do with the core rooms. And that's kind of bothered me at the moment. Beyond that, if you take the elevator up, it goes to the bridge, which I have not painted yet. I did put the main core up here, and I did move the pilot seat back 1 block, which I kind of had to do with the glass requires that row there to be open, which kind of sucks. But other than that, different ways on the ship. You got a way right over here. You can come down right behind where the cockpit is there, and there's a way into the back of the bridge, and then the only other way is the other 2 ways is from the landing pad and to the lower ramp down over here. And that is pretty much how the build is at right now. So it's almost getting there to where I can equip it with some stuff, balance the CPU, and take it out for some testing. The only thing I wanted to do is I really got to finalize that core room thing, and it's kind of a mess. The problem I've got is just so many layers of blocks and armor and things that really fill up a lot of room in this ship, especially adding this giant room here. Well, I wouldn't say giant room, but this big room here in the middle of it for fusion reactor. That took up a lot of room too. So now I'm actually struggling a little bit on places to put the CPU cores. Now, this room isn't terribly secure here. It's on the top floor. It's not in the middle like or the bottom side. But it's still kind of like underneath the first-person bridge. So it's not super bad, but I don't know. I think what my thoughts are is I kind of want to reconfigure the backside over here, the way this is set up, and maybe try to, I don't know. See, right below here is where the fusion reactor is too. So obviously, if the fusion reactor blows up, and you got one, well, if you got one installed and it blows up, man, I don't think there's any way you're going to recover even the ship out of that. It's too big of an explosion. It's too much to try to protect everything, and I don't even trust, like, if you had a layer of Xeno blocks, and it does, like the whole floor is Xeno and the back is all Xeno. I don't know, I mean, if the fusion reactor were to blow up, would it take out the Xeno wall too? I don't really know. But it's hopefully it's in such a place that is really kind of embedded in the ship. It's closest to the back, but even with that, there is some layers of like stuff before you get to it. And you shouldn't really be taking that many hits on the backside of the ship. I mean, if you're flying the ship right, at least, you definitely want to be aiming towards the bad guys and not hopefully getting shot in the back too much. But you can take some hits back there as well. And that's where I'm at with it. So I guess with this one, I think all the decoys are in place. I really hate putting decoys in ships, and doing what I did to this. When I was building this, I was fairly motivated when I was building the hull. I was kind of liking how that was coming out mostly. And then once I got into the interior, doing all this junk here, which is needed for this kind of build. But it sucks. I hate it. I hate doing this kind of thing that I'm doing. But hopefully it works. And again, I'll have to test it and find out if, and even let the shields, or not even turn the shields on, and just duke it out with some things and see what happens, up on the front here. I do believe there's so many things for them to shoot at in this whole nose section, all the way back to about where that warp drive starts here, that they'll be plenty occupied with having a good old heyday there. And even if they randomly decide to shoot at the warp drive, it's lined up, which would still tell them to be firing pretty much across this whole section that's meant to be fired upon. As in that secure bridge, that's embedded in the center floor back here, which, I mean, it's really protected on all sides. You got obviously there'll be guns in here too, but multiple Xeno block walls across there. There's a layer under here that's all Xeno as well. A lot of Xeno and stuff. Anyway, now right now I don't have the guns on the ship right now, so CPU is not at all in check or even looked at yet. But it's moving like this currently. This has got a lot more Xeno and stuff in it than it did last time I showed it. So it's down to 59 forward, 44 strafing, 59 reverse as well. The lift and down are about even. Yeah, for its size and stuff, it's all right. It's not a speed demon or anything like that. But I guess I shouldn't expect it to be, not for being this big with this much armor stuff in it. Now, I'll probably still be manually upgrading some more blocks on here, too. Besides some blocks on the front and a little bit around the front side area and a couple of specialized places, most of it's still steel. Again, with a lot of backing Xeno block layers all over the place, wherever I thought it was strategically important to do, and probably some more once I get into these core rooms, if I keep these core rooms the way they are. And that's why I didn't really want to design and detail it, because I don't really like this setup. I I don't like splitting the cores up to so many different places, but generally speaking, there are places that are less likely to be hit, I guess. You know, way back of the ship, and but not like at the back of the ship. The only thing I'm really, again, really worried about is if I do decide to put cores up here. I really don't want to put these cores here or anywhere on this deck over here. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to stick them somewhere else. Call it a day. Again, if that fusion reactor was to get popped back here and you had one installed, it would totally annihilate all the cores up above here, and probably who knows what. Again, the ship would probably be about dead at that point in time too. I don't know what kind of chain reaction splash nasty damage they'll have. There's 8 fuel tanks embedded in here, and I really tried hard to protect these sons of guns too. There's xenoblock walls. So it looks like I've got something that's not filled in over in this general location. But yeah, just there's a lot of protection for critical parts, exploding parts, and that kind of thing all over the place. I don't know if I should have done it that way, like try to protect individual parts or just try to protect the outer hull. But I guess we'll find out. I'm just trying to make this, basically the idea is when you're fighting somebody, you'll probably be seeing them up here. So your top side of your ship is going to be, and front, are going to take hopefully most all the damage. That's the point. They'll be shooting at decoys and everything else under the sun here. And it can keep on going for a long time. I mean, you'd have to lose a lot of ship, take a lot of damage before it's shut down, at least from the front side. I mean, of course, like if you're playing PvP, though, if you got right up behind here and just started mashing through this layer here, well, maybe a little bit lower than that, and try to shoot out a fusion reactor would probably be the best bet. AI doesn't know that, though, so... And that's only if you have a fusion reactor installed. And I definitely wanted the option because not that you would necessarily need the power from like multiple fusion reactors or even a big fusion reactor to start with, but it's mainly for the shield perk that it does, which would make your shields recharge faster, basically, which is definitely a good thing because it's shields recharge very sluggish. There's a buffer zone where they got to just sit there and think about it, and then after they start thinking about it, then they eventually charge up, but it's usually very slow. Now you can adjust your different shield components for your total shield hit points or how much or your charge time. So I guess that, you know, I don't know. Right now, I don't even know how I got it set up. I think it's a little bit heavy on the shield hit points versus charging. But how it's sitting now, 137,000 shield on here. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Once I get the core room figured out and work on some details on some other rooms here, I'm thinking either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to take this out and try to do some testing with it. I'll do a video on that as well. And maybe I'll try basically a version of this that I believe is like a Core 9 configuration. Like bare minimum of probably won't have a whole lot of guns and stuff at Core 9, and then try one that's souped up, you know, with a lot more stuff on it and see how it does. I don't right now. I just don't know. I mean, it's just kind of in a different building realm, and I don't even know if all the specs for like RE2 Legacy Space Combat. I don't believe that's even completed yet. Like where all the stuff is there in the game to really find out everything. But anyway, just kind of wanted to show where I'm at. I feel like it's been taking a long time to build this one, and honestly I was pretty motivated when I started building the hull, but once I got into the interior with all this the decoys and all the xenoblocks and the stuff and the texturing, that's driving me bonkers and worried about every part, its placement, and so many exploding things, and I just started like sucking the life out of me a little bit, and my motivation dropped a lot building it, just because it's, I don't know, it's like if I do things right the way you would want them with decoys and this kind of crap, I hate the ship. I just don't like it. It's so unplausible and stupid to me in my head that I just, my mind kind of turns off, and I'm just like, this is just dumb. It doesn't matter what I do. It's stupid anyway. And that's that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, I like to have things that are pretty plausible, and this having all this junk going on just makes it to me like it's totally not plausible. You never do this in reality. But you can see like how much, like, even if you're getting shot from above and they're aiming at your warp drive, oh my god, good luck. Have fun with that. There's a lot of crap up there. So, and maybe I went a little overboard with it too, because I keep on like going through areas and I keep on adding more and more xenoblocks and more like things. And you can take a look at the stats too. You can see that I've crossed over with xeno material over 20,000 in it now. Don't mind the price here. I've got like this crazy core setup on here. That's why it's using 100 quantum processors. Probably because I'm running the actual like 4 quantum cores in here at the moment. But yeah, that's one thing. I like nice core rooms. And I wanted just a single core room, but I can't find any space on the ship that's safe enough that can hold like 900 cores. I exaggerate a little bit there, but I mean, there's just a lot of core blocks with once you get into the aux and the yeah, all that stuff. It just, that's a lot of cores to be thrown in there, and I don't know. It's supposed to be kind of an endgame ship though, endgame combat ship. So I just hope it works. And well, if it gets blown up and I got some good disaster pass, maybe I could you know, also have time to get that squared away and reinforced, or move some things around, or figure out what's happened. But it's hard to know just purely running scenarios through your head without actually seeing how things actually go. But I hope it actually does pretty good. I can't right now think that it would just like blow up. You know, like you're attacking somebody and you get a hit pop somewhere just right and the whole ship like stops working. I just can't see that happening, but who knows? Who knows? Other than that, that's all I've got for today. Please let me know any thoughts you got on any of this stuff. I'm all open ears. I do take a lot of comments, advice, what I can, not all the time, but when I can. Like the latest thing too, I probably would have left it if it wasn't for the comment, but I would have probably had a door right here going into the room like it was once set up. But I got rid of that because, yeah, I didn't want the door there, and a comment also said that's, yeah, find another way. And then I looked. I really looked. I was like, man, okay, so I'll try to snake the doors in from this side. I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's where the actual shield parts go. I can't run a door there. It doesn't work. So I had to build a fake wall to make a hallway behind that, but it still works. And now you don't have a door in the center. So other than that, y'all have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later.